Hello, my ninjas. Well, if you are new to Kajabi or whether you have been using Kajabi for a little while, I wanted to share with you my experience with Kajabi and why I use it, because I know some people are on the fence, they're just interested, what have you. So, anyway, here's my story. So, if you don't know, I am pretty technical. I spent a career in the IT geeky world as a Windows admin and director and all this other kind of stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? The point is, I love technology and it's definitely what I do. And I was looking for a way to sort of share and help other people build an online business. And I started with using WordPress and blogging because I had done it for some other stuff. In fact, I used to have a WordPress blog about WordPress. So I really liked WordPress and what have you. And so that was my natural inclination, was to build another WordPress site. I knew what to do. I had spent what seemed like $1 million in tools and page builders and things to make sure I didn't get hacked in building my website. And so somewhere along the line, I was introduced to Kajabi. In fact, the first time I was introduced to Kajabi, I passed on it. I saw the price tag, and at that time, I think it was like $129 a month. And I was like, there's no way I can afford it. And what I didn't realize, and this is one of the key factors and why I did change, is I was spending far more than that. And so, in fact, I'm going to share with you really quickly here. Let's say, not my desktop, but this spreadsheet that I didn't do initially. So, cost was a major thing. Now, you might not have all of these things. In fact, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so it shows up a little bit better. But maybe not. But these are some of the things that I had. I had an email provider. I was using ActiveCampaign. That was $50 a month. I had web hosting. That was like a couple $100 a year. I had my shopping cart, which was ThriveCart, which I had spent $600, which I think is like a lifetime thing for at least the deal that I took. There was, Memberium, which is another tool that helps with making membership sites. There was Webinar Gen, which is not really, I wouldn't say that's part of Kajabi or something. If you're going to use webinar software, you're going to pretty much use that regardless of what platform. But then I had Lead Pages, I had LearnDash, I had Social Learner, and you might not have heard of some of these tools, but all of those tools together sort of helped make up the membership site. They gave the theme, they gave all these other pieces, and I spent, this actually is under, but it, almost $3,800 out of the gate. And I was like, wow, I was spending way more than what I thought. And I was also using Vimeo, the pro plan, for my video hosting. And so while all of these solutions individually are great solutions, even I, as a technical person, was finding myself spending way more time maintaining the solution than I was using the solution to build what I wanted to build, if that makes sense. So cost was, like I said, a key factor in what I was doing with Kajabi. And then the next part of it was complexity. It was taking me all this time to figure out all these pieces of software, then maintaining them WordPress has a bunch of updates, much less all the other tools that went along with supporting it, the plugins. And I just found myself maintaining a system more than the system was helping me. And it just became too much of a nightmare, honestly. But not that it can't be done. A lot of people do it. But I ask people, especially if they're starting out doing something by themselves as a solopreneur, do you want to spend your money in something that you have to kind of maintain, make sure it's backed up, and all these other kind of things, versus just being able to use the tool? So cost was one, complexity was another thing, and the third thing was how soon could I use something before I could start turning a profit? Because what most people fall into doing is they see the 129, 149, whatever it is a month, and they're just overwhelmed with, I have to hurry up and get my product out the door so I can start making some money to pay for this per month thing. And so that's why I offer the 28-day trial through my special link, as well as help them get through the challenging part of understanding Kajabi. Now I'll talk about how you can get through this very quickly, because when you really understand the bird's eye view of how Kajabi works, then you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's it. Like, it's really simple, but when you don't know, it can seem overwhelming. But nevertheless, the main things the reasons why I ended up changing had to do with cost, complexity, and how fast I could get something out the door. So I want to show you really quickly here on the back end. So if you are new to Kajabi or haven't really run this a lot, this is the back end of, let's say, my demo site in Kajabi. And so what we have here are pipelines. Now, pipelines is just Kajabi's way of saying a funnel. And a funnel in business is just a path or process that leads you to whatever call to action, CTA, that you want your people to do. Whether it's get a freebie, whether it's register for a webinar, whether it's purchase a product or service, what have you, that is the call to action or the pipeline. So if I click over here on this sales pipeline over here, I generated it with just one click. And again, I'll do another video about this a little bit later. But the framework is here. All the pieces that make this sales funnel, the opt-in, the email address, the sales page, and the checkout page, are done for me literally with one click. One click! And so I don't have to figure out, okay, how do I make this opt-in piece of software, if I'm using something else, how do I make this talk to my email provider that's a third-party email? And then how do I then connect it to my shopping cart and make it all look nice on my webpage? All of that goes away, and you're just looking at content and making it look pretty with your colors, your brand. That's it. And so once I understood that, I was like, this is a no-brainer. Like, all I have to do is kind of plug and play. And as of this recording, Kajabi has come out with an updated version. They're calling it Pages, which is their updated page builder, which allows you to do so much more with their page builder and customization. So all that trying to figure out how to email and websites and all that other kind of stuff, honestly, folks, and I'm not trying to be crass, but all that crap goes out the door. You figure out the process of the tool, but it's so much quicker. And then when you want to do what will seem advanced, it's how do you make that work in Kajabi. So as an example, I had a client that wanted to have a webinar at 2 different times, 2 different days, or like a Wednesday and a Friday, one at 5 and one at 8. Okay, but I want it on one page. Like, I don't want to have multiple pages for all of that. So how do I do that in Kajabi and make it look nice? And so we did that. We knocked that out in like a couple of hours, and I walked her through the process of doing that in the funnel that is provided by Kajabi as the template, and then we tweaked it to do even more. So anyway, those are my reasons on why I picked Kajabi. I hope you will too. I'll put in the link with this post should you want to do the trial, and or just reach out to me if you're having problems to deciding. Let's say if you're with another third party thing, with WordPress, with Wix, or things like that, because I've helped people migrate or help people integrate. Not everybody wants to do a Kajabi purist, and I get that. But some people say, well, I have this WordPress blog. Can I still use Kajabi? Absolutely. And that works too. So in any event, I will see you in the next video, but that is why I chose Kajabi. What about you?